Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. It is CGR, aka Darius, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe because I have more of these videos up. But if you're a long-time subscriber, aka I know you, well then fuck with me and like this video. But okay, boom. So I went to the Atlanta Meps about a day before. Yeah, the day before. What day did I go? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is the day I got to the hotel. Okay, Wednesday I went to go see my recruiter. Met up with her, did a little brief, had to wait for the shuttle to come to pull up, and I was the only one on the shuttle. And before I even went on the shuttle, my recruiter told me she reminded me of everything I needed to say, because this is for another video, but I had a marijuana waiver for a possession charge I had, so I had to have a waiver. So that's gonna be a whole nother video, but she was just touching me up on some stuff that I needed to say when I got to Meps, just in case I forgot. So anyway, 2 hour shuttle drive to Atlanta. First we stopped in Macon to go pick up, I think we picked up 3 other people, 2 girls and a guy. And then we headed to the Meps Center actually, because we had to go pick somebody up and drop some people off to go take the ASVAB. And we had to pick some people up and take them back to the hotel. So we end up at the hotel, we wait for a little bit. It's a nice hotel now, I'm not gonna cap. Like, one of the nicer hotels I've been in, and I travel a lot. I used to travel a lot all the time when I went to go play sports and stuff. So it's a pretty nice hotel. So get my, we wait in the lobby for about like 30 minutes. Everybody gets there. Then they give us, it's called the Freedom Club. If you're in Atlanta, I don't know what it's called everywhere else, but it's called the Freedom Club, and we went to go meet in this room. And in this room, it was a whole game room. It had PS4s, like at least like 8 of them, a big TV, couches, a whole bunch of couches, like 3 or 4 couches in the front, chairs, foosball table, all kinds of stuff. And you could like get like certain games with the PS4 and play, and it was a pretty dope room. It was like a game room. So we all met in there. We lined up. Not everybody was here at this time because some people still had to filter in. People from other parts of Georgia had to come filter in. So we all lined up. We got our room key. Good thing I'm from Warner Robins because I got there pretty early. So I got a pretty good roommate. Had a cool ass roommate. Got a room key. Went up to the room. Roommate was cool. We chopped it up for a little bit. Then he was like, boom, let's go to the gym. And he was already thinking I was thinking. It was like, we need to put in some work, you know. And plus, you know, why not? Like, we there, you know, why not see what the gym talking about? So we end up going down to the gym. Because then we got there early because nobody was in there. We got to work. We put in some work. Then we got back to the hotel. Back to our room. And dinner was like from, I think, 5 to like 10 or something like that sometime. But the dinner, I'm not even going to cap to you. The dinner was not that fire. It was, what do we have? They didn't have no options. We had like a small little section. We had they gave us a little ticket. When we got down ready to eat, after we worked out, I took a shower, went down there, my roommate didn't even go. I had to go by myself. So I went down there, gave her my ticket. She was like, you got to eat from this section. They had some smothered chicken and something. I don't eat chicken like that, so I didn't even touch that shit, bro. They had, the dessert was the most memorable. They had the peach cobbler and they had brownie corners, and they had this dry ass macaroni and cheese, some rice and beans, and that's it. Like, everything else was beat. So I end up eating or whatever. We have a little meeting. We have a little brief at like 8 o'clock. It's a mandatory meeting, so you had to be there at 8 o'clock. Everybody's in there. She's just telling us on what we're gonna do tomorrow. How to act that night, like anything, and they show us a little informational video. So me and my roommate, we were already on it, bro, because we know we had to wake up at 4 a.m. the next morning. So right when we got back to the room, we just went to sleep. I was like, yo, if you need the TV, turn that shit off. You know, we gotta wake up in the morning. I went ahead and ironed my clothes the night before. I advise you to iron your clothes the night before so you're not rushing to get up, because people get up a lot earlier than you think. So iron my clothes, have them all out. Wake up the next morning, boom, 4 a.m., business trip. You already know what time it is, Meps. Everybody hypes up Meps, but there's nothing to be hyped up about. So get dressed, get down to the lobby. We have breakfast. They had a hard-boiled egg that I did not fucking touch. They had some potatoes. They were like diced potatoes and they were fried or whatever. They had, it wasn't that memorable because I can't remember it. It wasn't good, I know that. It wasn't good. I had some water. Then it's dark outside because on the East Coast, it was dark outside. It's 4 a.m. It's like 5 o'clock at this point because we waited in the Freedom Club room for a little bit because we had to go meet in the Freedom Club room before we ate. Met in the Freedom Club room. Then we went in to eat breakfast. Then went back and we waited for the charter bus. We rode a charter bus. Everybody could fit on there. It was like, I see like 50 people. Not 50, 60 people. Then we got on the bus and people that drove the cars just followed the bus or whatever. It was about like a 30-minute ride from the hotel to Meps. And we get to Meps. We have to sit outside in the cold. It's like 30-some degrees now. And if you live in Georgia, you're not used to the cold like that. So we're over there. I got my jacket on. I'm chilling. But like people over there freezing and shaking. I actually met somebody that went to my high school in line. So we over here waiting for the Meps to open because they got to wait for somebody with the key or whatever. We just sitting outside. We wait for like 30 minutes, bro. We finally get to the doors. The first thing we do when we get to the doors, this guy, he's coming out. He's like, take everything out your pockets, put it to the side. 2 people come in through the door at the time. You gotta walk through a metal detector. 2 people walk through the door at a time. It's basically just following instructions, bro. You just gotta listen to what he says. Meps is nothing but following instructions. So we walk through, and we put our bags down. We walk through the metal detector. We take everything out of our pockets, take our watches off and stuff. Then once we got through, we put our bag through a scanner. Then we put it in the storage room. Then we go sit in the, no. Then we got to go, I'm in the Air Force. So we got to go to the Air Force liaison. He's at the end of the hall. So we go check in with the Air Force liaison. And we give her our, so you always have to have forms of identity. So you have your social security card and your ID. They go ahead and check us in, and then they line us up, and then we line up on the side, like going back out the door, because medical is on the other wing of Meps, and we're in like the lobby wing of Meps. So they line us up. They start calling names because they got your social security card and ID. They call your name. You go to medical. You sit down and you wait. Wait in this big. It's like an office. It's like a big oval office. We all sit down. We have to fill out some paper. We have to first fill out some paperwork. That was like the biggest thing. Like they had so much paperwork to fill out. Like it was crazy. Like we had to. It's basically just if you follow instructions, you will have no problems at Meps. We had to pick up 5 pieces of paper that we had to fill out, and there was a whole bunch of forms and stuff like tattoos and stuff and like waiver stuff and like questions. And then we waited in the medical lobby, and they have like a whole different section. We go up to the counter. They see it's you. They look up and they're like, okay, go sit down. Boom. Now they have a. Now after we finish all the paperwork, they have a line for urinalysis, blood tests, vision, and a hearing test, and it's all in like the same area. It's the medical wing, so it's all in the same area. So first they were like, if you really have to pee, because you pee early in the morning, you're waiting at Meps for like, I say at least like an hour, 2 hours before you even do any testing. It's just a whole lot of waiting. You got to be patient. So a lot of people have to pee. He's like, if you got to pee right now, go ahead and get in the drug test line. If you don't, if you can hold it, sit right here for blood, sit right here for hearing, and sit right here for vision. So I get in the vision line, and I'm waiting. It's a pretty long wait. Go to vision, hearing, drug test, and blood work. They take your blood, see if there's anything in it. Then after you do that, that's going to take about a good 2 to 3 hours, no cap. You're just sitting there waiting for people to get done, because it's a lot of stuff that you have to go through while you're at Meps. Like with the vision, you have to look in this thing, depth perception, this circles. I messed that hoe up. They're going to give me, I have 20/20 vision, but they're going to give me glasses most likely when I get to BMT, because I couldn't tell the depth perception of some circles. And the circles are really like, they're the same size. I couldn't tell. But when I got to the other stuff, like the chart where you have to read, I read that fine. I had 20/20 vision. He was like, they might give you glasses at BMT just because you couldn't read depth perception. I was like, okay, cool, fine. Then I went to the blood work. Then I went to with the blood, they just take your blood. They find a van, you sit there, take your blood. It's quick, fast. Then I went to the drug test, just piss in a cup. hand it in the window. There's like a window right beside the bathroom. You piss in the cup. If you can't pee in the cup, they will shame you. Because I was sitting by a guy. He was like, bro, I can't piss, bro. I can't piss. Yada, yada, yada. Like, bro, it's all psychological, man. I'm like, just go in there and whip it out and fucking pee, my nigga. Like, damn. Like, I was like, it ain't nothing but water in a cup, bro. Like, drink. They was letting people drink as much water as they could, but Buddy could not pee. It took him like, if you can't pee, you will get pushed to the back of the line. So I advise you, after you pee early in the morning, I advise you to pee early in the morning, by the way, because that's when your piss is the dirtiest, when you first wake up. So hold your piss the rest of the day. Drink. They got water bottles in the hotel. Drink the water bottles. Then go back in there and pee. They let this man go in there about good 3-4 times. He got sent to the back of the line like 3 or 4 times. And this is a fat ass line now. So, and we did the blood after we did the urine. We did the hearing. And she put you in this booth, and it's like a soundproof booth, and she closes the door, and you have these headphones on. Every time you hear a beep, you have to click it. And I advise you, if you can't hear anything, you have bad hearing, every 3 seconds, click it, because every 3 seconds, a beeping noise comes through. So if you can't hear it after 3 seconds, just keep beeping, just keep clicking, just keep clicking. Then after that, after we got all those tests done, we're not even halfway through, bro. Sit your ass back in the lobby. They're going to call you back to another room to get stripped down to your boxers. And you have to sit there naked. And not naked, in your boxers around a whole bunch of other people. And he calls you up. And he asks what branch service you are. If you have any cuts or bruises or anything like that on your body. You're like, no. Sit back down, wait for the doctor to come in. And while they're waiting for the doctor to run you through like the duck walk and all the motions you have to do, they'll do the duck walk and they'll do all that. Actual doctor, this is what everybody's afraid of. The actual doctor, there's 2 of them. There's a guy and then there's 2 guys and then there's like some assistants. He'll call you in. While you're waiting for the main doctor, they'll call you into the side. This is where you'll get, like, this is like a one-on-one, bro. You gotta... He'll ask you a whole bunch of questions. He'll ask you about surgeries, injuries, things like that. He'll go down the list. Just answer truthfully, bro. He's not going to try and trick you. If you're at Atlanta Meps, there's some cool people at Atlanta Meps. So he's cool. So just answer truthfully. I had Dr. Hunter. Just answer truthfully. And they got to have somebody in the room to watch as they check they will actually put their hands on your ball sack and you'll have to cough. And then they'll actually turn around and bend over and spread your cheek. Some doctors, I've heard, some doctors will stick their finger in your, but my doctor was like, just cough. And he was like, all right, you're good. Pull up your pants. Let's go. I was like, we're in that bitch. He asked me a few more questions. Then I went back in the other room and I had to wait for the doctor. As this time, it was starting to be lunch. Lunch is like from 11 to like 1100 to 1300, I think, was the time frame. So in between there, I had to put on my clothes and go to lunch, and then I came back and I had to do the duck walk. I had to do bending over, touch my toes. We had to walk really fast in a square. There's like a group of people you have to go with, and she'll have all your information, say if you have any scars or anything or any problems like scoliosis or whatever. And she'll tell you to touch your toes. She'll tell you to get on your knees and then stand up without touching anything. There's a whole bunch of tests you have to go through. It's not hard. Don't think anything of it. And the Meps is nothing to worry about. Then you get up. And after that, that is like the last thing you'll do, like physical and medically wise. So I advise you just listen. Listen to what they got to say. It's nothing but a simple test, bro. And it's nothing, when you're sitting there in your boxers, bro, nobody's going to be looking at you, bro. So don't even worry about it, bro. Nobody wants to look at each other. So just go ahead, sit down, get your test done. And once we got our test done, where we had to do the duck walk and we had to crawl on our knees with no hands and we had to stand up without our hands, they'll show you a whole video on what you have to do when the main doctor gets in there, because she has to do, I think, females and males. So once we get done with that, that's the last test she'll do. She'll hold your packet. During the whole process, she'll have a packet. You give the packet to her at the end because she's the last doctor you'll see. You give the doctor to her, put on all your clothes. Then you go back in the other room. They'll get your fingerprint for your for like your ID and stuff. You'll sit down. They'll call you one by one. Put your fingerprint on there. And then you'll wait. and then they'll put you back in the lobby. Now, you have to go see your liaison. I had to go see the Air Force liaison. I had to go take the TAPAS test. It's a personality test. Some people will have to take the ASVAB and the TAPAS in the same day, but I already took the ASVAB, so I had to take the TAPAS that day. So I go to my liaison. He gives me a piece of paper, tells him I need to go back to the medical wing, go down the hallway, go to the window and testing window, and give him my paper, tell him I need to take the TAPAS, yada, yada, yada. But when you're going to the TAPAS room, if you're in Atlanta Meps, there's a guy there. I mean, if you're going to the testing room, there's a guy there. He will want you to, first, before you even walk down the hallway, look around you, because there might be a sign that tell you to read something. Really sit there and read both sides of the page, because when you get to the window, it's like a book, it has 4 pages. If you get to the window and you don't read it, he will psych out, and he will tell you to go back and read it. I had to go back twice. I was kind of getting pissed off, but I understand, like, he was like, when I got to the window, I was like, my bad. It said read front and back. I didn't read the other 2 pages front and back. I just read the first 2 pages front and back. He was like, man, you gotta follow instructions, man. Nothing, the military is, he was a civilian. Military is nothing but attention to detail. And I was like, yeah, yes, sir. I was like, yes, sir, yes, sir. I handed my paper. He was like, go in there and tell me you need to take the TAPAS. TAPAS is 124 questions. It's nothing but, would you do this or this, and would you do this or this? It's nothing to be scared of. They're not going to try and trick you at Meps. They're trying to get you through that hole. They're not trying to fail you. I've been watching so many videos on YouTube where they've been trying to fail you. It's not what they're trying to do at Atlanta Meps. So they're trying to get you through that hole. Finish the test, go back to the liaison, and now we sit in the lobby, in the main lobby, we're watching movies. You're sitting with everybody else from different branches and stuff. You have the different branches like Navy, and then Air Force, and then they'll have Marines, and then they'll have Army, then they'll have Army Reserve, Army Guard. And there's a whole bunch of branches. Everybody's just sitting in this lobby watching a TV, and you're waiting for them to call you on the intercom, because it's like, okay, we got there at like 6. No, like 5:30. And we didn't leave till like 4. So we were there for pretty much like 12, 13 hours. So they'll call you up to swear in. Like, if you got everything done that day, everything was good, you didn't get disqualified. If you get disqualified, it's because of something you didn't do, or you didn't listen, and you were playing around. It's a business trip, bro. Remember that. So good thing I was one of the first people to go through, Meps. They called me up, and you go in this briefing room. They talk about swearing in. They'll teach you attention. They'll teach you parade dress. And when you get into the Meps room is really small. If y'all seen like the pictures, it looks like it's a big room, but it's really small. You'll go in there. She'll brief you on what being in the military is all about. Then you go in the then you go in the swearing room. An officer, the commander of Atlanta Meps will come in. She came in. We were at parade arrest, and then we got attention. And then the guard people, if you're in guard or Army Reserve, you swear in first, and then everybody else swears in after you. But they all do it at the same time. And like your friends and family can like take pictures of you or whatever, and they'll come visit you. Then you'll swear in, and you'll go back to the lobby, and you'll wait. All Meps is waiting, bro. There's nothing to be worried about, Meps. We waited, after we swear it in, we waited for a couple more groups to swear in. Oh, they closed at 5. We were there till 5. So there was like a good 4 or 5 groups that went, and there in the group there was like, I say like 10 to 12 people, I believe, that were swearing in. So once we sweared in, we went back to the lobby. You could tell when somebody was disqualified or they couldn't swear in that day, because they were just in a bad mood. You don't want to be that person, so just listen. We sat down. We waited for about like an hour, 2 hours for the swearing to close and the medical to close. Well, the medical was already closed. We were waiting for the swearings to close, to stop, to cease, and that's the end of everybody's day at that point. And the Air Force guys, they was just out of there. They was like, fuck that, bro. Like, we're done for the day. Like, we even put in our work. And then we got back on the shuttle. Well, they gave us our liaison gave us a ticket, and we got back on the shuttle. Our shuttle that drove us there, it's going to be the same bus driver. Shuttle that drove us there, and then we drove home. It was a 2-hour drive for me. So I was just chilling. But yeah, Atlanta Meps is chill. I don't know how any other Meps is. It's chill. But just listen. Just attention to detail. Just listen, bro. It's nothing that they'll just be like, you were in a car accident? You're like, yes. If you weren't in a car accident, you weren't in a car accident, bro. I've heard people say that, but they didn't say that to me. Like, they're not trying to trick you, bro. They're just trying to get you through. So just answer the questions truthfully. if you're there on some like sus stuff and like you got some questionable things holding you back, just, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I mean, just answer truthfully and you'll be straight. And I just went home. But yeah, the Atlanta Meps, it was nothing, bro. It was really easy. It's just a lot of waiting. You gotta be patient. You gotta have patience. I mean, while you're in the lobby, it's good to talk to people because you don't want to sit there like being bored the whole time watching TV. Like, it's good to talk to people just to meet people. But yeah, it's nothing to be worried about. If you're going to Atlanta Meps, comment down below. If you're going to any Meps, comment down below and just tell me. Or if you have an experience to share, just tell me. But my next video will be on my marijuana moral waiver and how I got through all of that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like and be back for some more Air Force stuff. And I'm going to be doing this through my whole Air Force journey, and I'm going to be doing a whole lot more cool stuff whenever I get through BMT and stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been your boy CGR, aka Darius, and I'll see you guys later.